This is the Olympia Gym in downtown Houston. These two youngsters sparring in the ring back there come from families without much money. They're 12 years old. They're learning how to box. And they're beginning in the same way that another poor 12-year-old youngster began in another city, in Louisville, Kentucky, 22 years ago. That 12-year-old's name was Cassius Clay. He changed his name to Muhammad Ali. And he fought his way up the slipperiest ladder in the world to become what he is today. The heavyweight boxing champion of the world, and regarded by many as the greatest fighter of all time. Muhammad, watching those kids, does it bring anything back to you? 12 years old, black, Louisville, Kentucky. What was it like?
It brings a lot back to me. Those two boys you just saw sparring around, one probably might just be a little better than the other, and there's probably another fella in the gymnasium that nobody can beat, another fella in Chicago that nobody can beat. And then you look at these pictures on the wall of Jack Johnson, Jack Dempsey, Gene Tooney. If I could just ever get anywhere as near these fellows was my goal, and now to be blessed to be ranked over all of these fighters in speed, in class, intelligence, looks, financial earnings, world publicity, fame, charisma. It's really makes you feel humble to know that I've come so far in such a quick time to be recognized as the best fighter of all times. And then when I see these fellows, it takes me back to how small I felt looking at pictures on the wall here.
Well, take me back there again, will you? I'd like to ask you this, Muhammad. When you were 12, poor kid in Louisville, and began it all, do you think things were tougher for you then than they would be for a 12-year-old black kid today in Louisville? Are things any better for blacks?
Well, I never recognized no racial problems. I really don't know. You can become so intoxicated with wealth, so surrounded with such atmosphere until you no longer see the conditions of the poor or other people. So I think that then things, I didn't pay no attention to where I could go or couldn't go, or race or color. I was just boxing, and I go to church and I go to school and I had my own fun. Certain places we couldn't go, but it never bothered me. But I really couldn't stay because I'm not a youth today in that condition.
You know, there's another thing that happened here in Houston some years ago and during the Vietnam War. When you appeared before the local draft board, refused induction on the ground of religious reasons, I think as you put it then, I got nothing against them Viet Cong. That began a very, very trying period in your life. It took away your boxing title. Looking back at it now, Muhammad, do you feel then that you did what you had to do, and would you have done it again?
I did what I had to do, but the timing was a little off. I think if I just waited a few extra months, the thing would have gotten, if I knew it would have gotten more unpopular. Saying I have no quarrel with Viet Cong and stirred up a lot of people and made it hard on me. But if I'd waited half a year or so longer, if I could have found the time and just appealed the decision but didn't do no talk, I think I would have gotten out easier. But if I had to do it over again, knowing what happened the first time and I was coming back for the second time, I would do it, but maybe say something a day or two later than I did. But when you ask the person, could you do it if you had to do it all over again, I don't know what I would have done if I didn't know what happened the first time and this was a second chance.
Yeah. But as a matter of principle, looking back, do you think you stood in the right place then?
Well, my life, things that I've done in my life, the greatest writers in the world couldn't have written my story no better. This is why Clubbing Pictures doing a movie on my life story. The two-time Golden Glove champion, two-time national AAU champion, World Olympic gold medal winner, lost the Golden Gloves in '58 for playing around. That made me serious in '59. Lost the first Frazier fight, won the last two. Lost the first Norton fight, won the last two. Beat George Foreman in Zaire. I mean, everything is just came perfect. Even all of my problems have been taken to the best advantage to make me better the next time. I don't think my life would have been no better. I think I did everything exactly the same if I knew what happened the first time.
Let me ask you this. You just recited the whole record of your championships in boxing, but let's look at your record in life, or if you like it, in your record in the life of this country. You have a very deep feeling, you've manifested it many times, about the position of blacks in this country. And yet, curiously, you've never been yourself a part of the activist black movement in this country. Why do you stand aside from that, or am I wrong in thinking that you do?
What do you say? What do you mean when you say I haven't been a part of it when I'm...
Activist.
I mean, like, what do
you haven't been a part of the civil rights movement. You've not participated politically.
Well, no, I've participated on a larger scale of that. What you're talking about is small. See, whenever there's a war, you have, say in the Vietnam War, one American fought the war on the air, by air, one fought the war by ground, one fought by ship, one was a spy, a secret service man, but they all had different approaches. One black man believes integrating and forced integration will solve it. None believe politics will solve it. None believe getting some guns will solve it. None believe separating will solve it. So what I was doing, by me representing all people, black and white, and I don't want to hurt nobody. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not this or not that. I'm representing all the people in the world. So I had to be real diplomatic at it. I was dead in the middle of the struggle. I'm the first black athlete who can earn $20 million a year that's not controlled by nobody white. In the history of this whole world, I'm the first black man in the history in sports and entertainment, other than Elijah Muhammad, people like Malcolm X or Wallace Muhammad. In entertainment and sports, I'm the first black man who can get on a television show just as this and be free to say anything you want to say, looking in your face, and that whole camera out there, and can go to work tomorrow and can't nobody fire me. So, so everything that I do, I won't make movies. They want me to take a few nude scenes like...
I'm not talking about... I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I won't go no longer. I might be talking too long. All I'm saying is that in my way, I'm in the struggle, the fight for freedom, is the image I portray, which millions are watching. I don't get out there and march, or I don't get out there and want to be the governor of Chicago. It's too small. I don't want to be president of the United States. That's too small.
That's too small being president of the United States?
For me, yeah.
What do you mean?
Because...
You don't really mean.
If I was the president of the United States, I can no longer talk the things that I talk. But Carter couldn't even say Anthony Perry got in trouble. Carter to make people open his church doors. He can't really do what he want to do. What's really in his heart? I'm free. I don't represent no flag. I don't represent no government. I can go to England tomorrow and say what I want. I can go to Morocco. I can go see Idi Amin, as controversy is. I can go back around Tripoli, never see Gaddafi. Can't nobody say, why'd you go here? I'm a world man.
Yeah, so you can say what you want, but you can't make things happen.
Who can make things happen?
In politics, things can be made to happen.
Well,
Lyndon Johnson made things happen in the area of social legislation.
Well,
maybe Carter will.
That's not my job. Allah, God makes things happen. And I rely on him to make, that's the trouble today. That's why man's having so much trouble and distress. He's trying to run the world according to his own law. If I give a man a car or airplane and he don't know how to fly it, you're going to come to grief. Now, God made the world. God made us. But man is now trying to run the world according to his own wishes and lights in disregard to divine laws of God. So therefore, we're having trouble. So I'm not trying to make things happen. If I can make people believe more in God, if I can help poor people, if I can stand up and be a clean image in the world where other entertainers are watching, other black people are watching this show who might be a doctor, lawyer, or scared to speak up because of their positions, see me getting away with doing what I want, that's all I want to make happen, is to make the minds change. Be an example. Make things happen like politics, or better railroad systems, more jobs. This is the physical. Getting the soul ready to meet God. We all going to die. There's a heaven and a hell. So I want to make things happen like that. So this, if a president or governor, mayor would make me too small.
Yeah, but you know, Muhammad, utopia is down the road, but we live here today.
What's utopia? Well, I don't know utopia.
Well, utopia, I mean the perfect world, if you like.
Oh, no, I can't make the...
Politics don't matter, is that, but
no,
politics do matter.
Politics do matter. I know it matters. I depend on it. My family have to depend on it. But my time, we don't have it so long on earth. If a man's 50 years old, he's not actually about 10 years old. Add up how many 7 and 8 hours you slept for 50 years, You probably slept 10 years of your life. Add up time you spent in school, 12 years, 8 hours a day, 4 years in the classroom. Add up all your traveling time, probably 2 years of traveling. Add up all the television, entertainment, probably 2 years of that. So if you're 50, life goes by too quick. Time you got children, time you get your bills paid, time you make leave $1 to your child, you're pushing 65. So life is too short for me to be in politics. I want to be in the, what can I do? I can teach boxing. I don't want to teach boxing for my life. I can lecture in colleges. That ain't nothing to me. Or I can be import-export, trade manager, or car company. But what can I do in a short life? I have 30 more years. I'll be 65. Man, I'm not activist. In those 30 years, I got to sleep. I got to travel. I got to watch entertainment. So I might have about 18 years to really maneuver. What's the most important thing I can do in my 18 years is to be a minister, spread the word of God. Forget man, forget man's laws, forget politics. Look for Allah, God, to solve my problem. Teach people about God. Clean up all your politics in America. All your sinners. You got the worst crime. You got the worst rape. You got the worst murder, exploitation, degradation. At this hour, bloodshed is going on in the country.
Yeah, but Muhammad, can't you do something about it by having better government?
No better belief in God. No better government. That's the trouble now. You're talking about better government.
Well, you say you don't care about being president of the United States.
No, for what?
The president of the United States and the man who wanted to be president of the United States both came to you to support them. Why?
I'll tell you one thing.
Did they?
Well, I got calls, and
Tell me about it.
No, I don't want to talk about it.
Well, did the president call you? Did Carter call you?
I've been to the White House 2 or 3 times. Mr. Ford called me and asked me how's my leg and this and that. But I'm just saying that shows I'm a little black boy from Louisville, Kentucky. These 2 great men were liking and support. Why? Because I have the followers. I'm the world's most. The book says, "Seek ye first the kingdom of God, then all things will come to you." They're all coming. But I seek God first. Now, I'm not going to leave God and then go to politics. That's why I'm the most popular. That's why I'm the wealthiest. That's why I'm the nice-looking, intelligent, can hold my own with a wise man like you.
How many of you may be the greatest? Let's not talk about that. Let's concede.
I'm not talking about boxing.
You're the greatest, and I'm not talking about boxing either.
No.
Well, you may be the greatest in any way you look at it. But there is also a way in which things operate. For example,
for who? For man?
More has been done, in a sense, for blacks in this country by the Voting Rights Act than all of the gospel preached in every pulpit in the country.
Now, how can you say all the gospel preaching, every pulpit in the country, more has been done for blacks? Now you're telling me that man's law and what man gave man is better than what those got who pray for God.
I don't say it's better. That isn't my point.
I
say that that's the way you make things happen, unfortunately, in our society.
No. Presidents, okay, what's the bigger thing in politics than the president? They're ducking behind every little tree to see because they might get a bullet in their head. Scared to walk down the street. Don't mean nothing if God's not with you. See, this is why we have the trouble we have today. I'm continuing fighting for God. I'm continuing talking about the supreme being of the universe who created the sun, moon, and stars. Time cannot affect him. Change of circumstances. Suns and solar systems are moving in space according to him. And they cover gigantic distances in their journeys. So
you're talking philosophy, you're talking religion, and I'm trying to talk
about the white man,
pragmatic things, not just the white man.
And the government, him doing more action than God. You trying to tell me that the man, to make things move, you're talking about God. It's what you're telling me. You're telling me that's why I say education is bad. That's why God never came to people like yourself. He came to Elijah Muhammad. He came to Moses. He came to Jesus. Men who are not learning. You all get so much education till you no longer believe in a God. Muhammad, you're talking about religion. Religion? What's better than religion? You're talking about God. What's better than God? What's better than God and religion? No, you're talking about the White House. Man should vote. Man, did you know God will blow up America with an earthquake, tumble the White House over tomorrow, and we all will die? Our very existence depends on his will, your food, your name. At night you get too tired, you got to go to bed. You ain't nothing. Man ain't nothing. All those presidents are now dead. All these fighters you see are now dead on the wall. Now, I'm talking about the supreme being. When he issues his injunction, you and I shall be apprehended, produced before him. He's going to say, why did you enforce your laws in my domain after you died? Who gave you the authority and the
You
power
believe
to
in
get
life after death?
Do I believe in life after
You
death?
believe in punishment after death?
Yeah,
and
well,
reward?
there's got to be a punishment after death. How can a man like Hitler get away with killing all those Jews and don't pay for it? How can those bigots in Alabama who cut the privates off of black people and lynched and raped people, how should they get away with that? That's right. And 100 years on life ain't nothing, because when we die, you go into heaven or hell, and how do I know that you? In other words, you're telling me, do I believe in a God? That's what you asking me.
You do.
You on this show asking me, for all these people, do you believe in a God? Like, the world is so messed up today until if a man believes in God, he's crazy. You believe in Ford. You believe in Nixon or politics. Yeah, I believe in the man who made the sun and the moon and the stars. You believe in man.
I am not saying in any sense that one should not believe in God.
Yes, we do.
I'm saying that history teaches us, experience teaches us, life teaches us, if you like, that we do live in this world. As you point out, we don't live here very long. Yeah. None of us are immortal.
You have to live right.
But you have to do something inside the framework in which you live to try to make things better.
Hold it, stop there. You're telling me that we have to do something inside the framework while we're here to make life better. What's better than teaching people the Word of God? What's better than teaching people to look out for the poor? What's better than teaching people about prostitution, about dope, knowledge of themselves, respect others, and do for self? That's coming the title of religion, of the power of God. And politics is good. I'm not saying that we shouldn't vote. I said Muslims, our leader says we all should vote. But at the same time, put God before the vote. Pray to God that the president do things better. Pray to God that the law change. Pray to God that this will change. Let God use man as a tool, but there's something over the White House. The White House is not God.
Howard, let me do it this way. In this, be talking about some very, very down-to-earth, pragmatic things.
What we're talking about now, the masses of the people watching this show now is jumping up and down and saying, he's right. He's right. How can you put in, and you don't want to say it outright because you have too many followers. You can't get on this show and make the people think that you are looking for man to save himself before God, or politics and voting is more important than God. Yeah, the president goes to church. That's probably why he won. People saw him going to church. He goes out with poor people. He had to put God in it before he got that presidency.
Well, black people, president goes to church. Carter goes to church. Ford went to church.
Yeah,
Carter won.
like
what
Carter.
does it
Don't
mean?
go to church like
Carter?
Don't go to. No, I'm not saying that. The people who voted for Carter, the masses of the black people did, which is why I turned that election. What I'm saying is that black people are church-going people. They're religious people, and they're poor people. And they're like people who walks the street with poor people, Carter in his suit, milking the cows and running the plow and walking down the street hugging little babies. And this just wins people a little. Maybe he wasn't serious, but I'm trying to say he had to come in with religion to get this thing.
You think blacks care about Carter because of his commitment to
blacks
religion?
Don't know who to vote for. All of y'all white. And we just choose the white man that we might think might do better. And for some reason they don't like what Ford is doing, or for some reason they think Carter might do better. If they had a chance, I'd be the president if it's left with the black folks. As a whole, I would bet my whole life, if it was just black folks voting against other black men, the one that they think will do right, that will not lie, that has got a running record to prove he don't care about money, he's bold, he's fearless, he stands for his convictions, I believe that I'll be the president. And if I run for president of the United States, I mean, any white person, forget the color, but the man that's going to really do something for the country, I believe I'll be the president. If the people forget the color, forget the prejudice, and know that Muhammad Ali ain't got no reason to lie to us. He's given up millions of dollars, he put his life on the line, he's going to jail.
But you don't want to be president.
I'm not saying I do, but I'm saying by me sticking with God and me believing in God, me preaching God, will make me even that quicker than anybody else if you forget the color and the small amount of man. So still I use God, I use the religion to get to win the people. You can't get around the supreme being. This time, 20 more years, you most likely you'll be dead.
Yeah. Well, I hope
20 more years. What are we? We're not nothing. I might be gone in another 2 years. A plane might crash next week. Yeah. We are nothing. And I want to get my soul ready to meet him, not politics. Okay, let's say...
What is money?
What is money? Money is a means of exchange. Money, we need money. I like money. As long as I can get it as a man, as long as I can say what I want to say getting it and don't have to sell out nobody, hurt nobody, I need money to do things. Hospitals I like to build. I want to help people. The more money you got, the more influence you have, and the more people you help.
Muhammad, where do you want to go? You're not going to fight the rest of your life. Are you done fighting?
No, I'm not really done fighting. I want to be an evangelist. I want to be, when I came in the gym, I want to be like that man, Gene Tooney, Walcott, Joe Louis. Now, I want to be like Wallace D. Muhammad, or Billy Graham, or just an evangelist, spreading the word of God, preaching religion, helping people, converting people to living right, not a politician. I tell you what, politicians call me, senators, congressmen, presidents.
To use you?
Well, use you to help them get in office. I mean, nothing wrong with that. But I'm trying to say the idea is I didn't get this by being a college man or by being another congressman myself. And not only that, presidents of countries. I'm invited to Libya, Iran, Syria, Turkey, Morocco, Pakistan, Indonesia, Sierra Leone, to meet the same people Carter would be honored to meet. I'm on that level. So I'm trying to go back to a man's office would make me small.
You've met with people like Gaddafi in Libya, in Zaire. You met with presidents. You met with Sadat and people like that. You regard yourself as a Muslim. Do you regard yourself not only as a Muslim in a religious sense, but in a political sense, in a world sense? Muslim.
Do I regard myself as what?
A Muslim in a political sense?
I don't know. I don't think about that. I don't know what you mean. I don't know what political sense. I'm not a political man. I don't. Whatever you want to call it. I don't know what it is. I'm just a Muslim. I'm no better nor the human being on earth. God's blessed me with power to have a little persuasion, to get the ear of people like yourself setting up cameras and coming across the country to talk to me. So I just want to spread the word of God and keep talking it because I'm where I'm at today, because from this gymnasium to here. You don't talk to me. Let me show you the power of Allah, the power of God. I've been a religious man. Do you know that if it wasn't for my religion, if it wasn't for the name Muhammad Ali, I wouldn't be a world man? Did you know that you wouldn't be in here talking to me today if I wasn't a religious world man? You don't talk to boxers. You couldn't ask President Carter no better questions. You couldn't ask him no seriouser questions. As a matter of fact, you wouldn't even ask me these questions. You can't talk. This is over what you talked to Carter about. It's bigger than that. Now here's a black man, a boxer, that barely got out of school with a D- average, and here you are, a top-notch interviewer, people like David Susskind, people like Howard Cosell, and talking about things that you talking to me like I was the president of a nation. Why? Because I put God first. Now, to get to be this kind of interviewer, or to get this type of interview as a politician, I got to go to school, I got to win votes, I got to be over a little city. Now, they talk to me like I'm the president of the world.
Yeah, but you did it in the boxing ring.
I didn't hold it now.
Conceded or not.
I didn't do this in the boxing ring. What you say about conceded?
I say I want you to concede that.
No, you want me to concede that you just told me before we did the interview that we're not talking about boxing. So if I did what I did in boxing, and if my knowledge comes from boxing, I couldn't talk on these things.
No. You came to a position where people care what you think about by becoming the heavyweight champion of the world.
No. Joe Frazier was heavyweight champion of the world. They didn't think it was what he thought about it. George Foreman was heavyweight champion of the world. And as him, Floyd Patterson, Joe Louis, Rocky Marciano, Ezra Charles. No boxer in the history of all boxing was asked the questions and do the interviews I do. So it ain't that now. How many fights? There's never been a world heavyweight title fight in Puerto Rico till I come. There's never been a heavyweight title fight in Black Zaire, Africa till I come. Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia title fight. Manila, the Philippines. And now we're getting ready to take one to Tehran, Iran. Hold on, let me say something. Now, I'm going to countries and I'm looking at people that's never followed boxing. It's because I'm a boxer made them know, but a Muslim, the name Muhammad is the most common name on the planet. The name Muhammad Ali representing religion has made me over all the boxers and attracted more interviews and different type of interviews. It's true about, but if I was just Cassius Clay, still a Baptist or a Democrat, I wouldn't be in Iran, I wouldn't be in Zaire, I wouldn't be in Manila, I wouldn't be in Malaysia, I wouldn't be in these countries. So the religion has made me a greater, a more popular boxer because of my religion.
Why did you leave the Baptist religion?
Well, I never was in the Baptist religion. We just had to go to church.
Did your church not mean anything to you in those days?
Church, nothing is wrong with church. All religions are good. I heard something once. It says rivers, lakes, and streams, they all have different names, but they all contain water. So does religions have different names, and they all contain truth expressed in different forms at different times. So all religions are good. Catholic, man named the Catholic, man named the Baptist, Zionism, Buddhism, Shintoism, Islam, Christianity. Game but one God, one religion. They got different ways of getting to it. So my church was right, but it just didn't teach. And what they said, they meant right, but it just wasn't plain and convincing enough to convert people. We have churches all over America, and we have more crime going on in the church than probably out of the church. So it ain't that the church is bad, the people don't follow the religion. The Islamic people, the Muslims are the only ones I see in America and around the world that truly live the religion.
Muhammad, you know, when we were talking about doing this together, and you said, how much is in it for me? And you made a kind of interesting observation. Do you remember?
Yeah.
What was it? What you said to me the other day when we were talking about...
About that little poem I wrote about your show?
What is that?
I asked you what was your budget. I mean, people paid me for these type of interviews. You didn't have no money. You didn't give me... You said you don't have no budget. I mean, I take my time out to come here, and I'm supposed to go make them film the movie. We're making my movie for Columbia Pictures. We want to get a plug in. It's called Tyler the Greatest, acting myself. And we're going to...
What was the poem?
The poem was, you were not going to give me no money for this show, right?
Right.
So I said, I love your show, and I admire your style, but your pay so cheap, I won't be back for a while.
Thank you, Muhammad.